day when I saw her born, hold her for the first time, you're like, what are our hopes? What are our dreams? You don't think that this would be part of that.
Molly is the strongest person that I know.
She's a light in any room.
She has an incredible spirit.
I'm Molly Easley, and I am a survivor. I remember being pretty little in the basement of the Cleveland Clinic, meeting with a geneticist and hearing my grandma talk about her great-grandpa who had just dropped. So it goes pretty far back. My grandma had an aortic aneurysm that was repaired, and then my dad had an aortic dissection.
It's just prevalent throughout this family, and it's terrible.
I started seeing Dr. Zaka because we had figured it was a genetic mutation, and we figured that I would be at risk.
Molly has a rare form of aortopathy called ACTA2. In 2011, we noticed that Molly's heart size was normal, but we also knew that we had to be very careful. Over the next 6 years, Molly's aorta increased in size abruptly. We knew that was a marker that her aorta was getting tired.
Literally 1 week before I was supposed to move into college, I went to see Dr. Zaka. We did an echocardiogram, and then that's when he came in and he said, I don't think you should go to college. I think you need to get in to have open heart surgery sooner rather than later. Felt like being in a tunnel, like a really dark tunnel. And you know, theoretically, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, but I was just so far deep, like I couldn't see the light.
The plan was to go in and replace and reconstruct that whole first section of her aorta, but sparing her valve so that she wouldn't be vulnerable to have those emergency situations that we know kill patients with aortic disease. Sure enough, when we got in there and looked inside that aortic arch, the aorta was already starting to tear. So we addressed it. We did a more extended repair into her arch of her aorta.
Recovery was challenging. I remember it was a few days before I was even able to walk up the stairs again, but we celebrated all of the little milestones. I started my freshman year of college in January of 2018. So it was exciting to finally be able to get to campus. I spent a lot of time riding horses. That was one of my passions, and so to be able to be back in the barn was a huge source of life and energy for me. Fast forward to 2021, I was in the barn by myself, and I just didn't feel quite right. I had a headache, I was a little dizzy, and I had this impending sense of doom, which is so challenging to explain. I remember feeling the rest of my aorta dissect. It felt like someone was taking a knife and just dragging it down my abdomen.
Because we had done more up front the first time around, we were prepared to sort of address that in a minimally invasive way.
When they were imaging my neck, they ended up finding a nodule on my thyroid. We found out that it was cancer. I had a total thyroidectomy. I'm not fully in remission, but hopefully, fingers crossed, in July I will be. Briggs and I actually met online. You need a better story. We had been talking a little bit, and I come to find out that he has a cardiac condition. We keep talking, and we find out that we both see the same cardiologist. And it was so surreal to just have been in my situation and feeling like there was no one really out there who understood exactly what I was going through. He's been a tremendous rock for me in that sense.
I got married to Molly on October 19th of 2024. I saw her walking down the aisle, and I just thought to myself how this was meant to be. I made the joke to Dr. Roselli at the wedding, and I said, before I touched her heart, you touched her heart.
My life was saved by organizations such as the American Heart Association for all of the research and the awareness that they've graciously put out into the world.
Any kind of donation that anybody makes can go a long way, and that's why a group like American Heart can make sure that the money that's raised gets to the right places, and teams that are focused on particular conditions can make things happen.
Molly reminds me almost daily that tomorrow is not promised. It makes me want to be my best self today and show up for the people in my life and love the people in my life.
My purpose to live was to provide a roadmap for her. You want to be the strong dad, but she's the fighter. She's the fighter.
I mean, how do you explain being a survivor? I do count myself very blessed and very lucky to be here today.